Hello everyone, it is me once again, Dash Ireland. I am back from hiatus. Now, I'm sure those of you viewing probably don't care or don't know who I am. Well, last month I started working on a new channel that has started off pretty okay-ish, and that was Divided Spectrum. Because of a contract that I hold with John, um, well, I can't really talk anything political or current events-ish on broad culture here. So I moved that to Divided Spectrum. But here, I'm finally getting back into the groove of doing Dash's call, which took hiatus not only because I didn't really have much topics to go off of, but because I was also pretty busy. Like, I had to deal with being the best man for my best friend's wedding and whatnot, so there's all that to deal with. I will be doing more videos on this channel. It's just the matter of whenever I have free time. Like I said, I'm busy. I might do some reaction videos. The only thing that sucks about the rule with reaction videos is that it has to be our first time seeing it. As well, I'm planning on doing some gaming videos. Like, I want to do some videos where it's me on my Xbox either playing Mortal Kombat 11 or something like that. Because if you know the previous deal with me in this podcast is that I'm a huge Mortal Kombat nerd, as well as with music. But let's get down to shit. If you're a new subscriber and you're wondering what the heck Dash's Call is, it's a podcast where I, Dash Island, talk about certain topics and discuss things, and now I have the occasional guest. I was supposed to have a big podcast uploaded, but because of previous software I had, it would crash every time it got close to uploading. So now that I have the new software, which is just OBS, well, it's new for my computer, but not new to me because I use it whenever I do live streams working in a sound room. But yeah, the occasional guests, usually recurring guests, are people like Jon, Hal, or Spencer. But anyways, let's get into the podcast. Uh, as always, I have a song of the week, and this week's song of the week, I was going to say Natural by Imagine Dragons, but Slipknot surprised me today. I am a new Slipknot fan. I've been a fan since October, whenever they released All Out Life, so I started getting into them. So now I'm a Slipknot fan awaiting their new album, We Are Not Your Kind. And I really do like the new stuff. Like, I liked Unsainted. I really did like Soulway Firth. And it was probably going to be Soulway Firth, but then they released Birth of the Cruel today. And that is a vertical visualizer video on YouTube. So yeah, our song of the week is Birth of the Cruel by Slipknot. Let's get into it. I really got to give a huge shout out to Jon and Hal, as they have been keeping this channel alive for the time that I wasn't really doing anything. I mean, Jon's always been keeping the channel alive, but not only have they continued making videos, but they've also managed to pull in so many more viewers and subscribers. So I really got to give a shout out to them for that. It's good that Jon is going to do this. I don't think he'd want me to say, let's just get into the video. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about what WWE is doing wrong. I'm sure you've seen, if you are a WWE viewer, that Raw and SmackDown's ratings have been going down, mainly Monday Night Raw. And there's so much I can say it's doing wrong. And there's some things that you can learn from AEW, or the indies in general, because last night I was showing my best friend the intergender match between Joey Ryan and Brandy Rhodes. And that was all sorts of ludicrous. That was just amazing. Plus, it was crazy. So, I'll get into that. So, yeah, before I get into this, be sure to subscribe to Broad Culture. And maybe if you're an old viewer and you miss me talking about politics, go to Divided Spectrum, because I'm not talking politics here. Alright, so, first reason of the things that WWE is doing wrong is their treatment of talent. One rule that I've heard mentioned is that they can't make new stars. And I just think it's ludicrous, because how are you going to make a good product if you can't bring in evolution of stars? You can't keep relying on old stars, because they've basically fizzled out now. Like, we've seen the overuse of Brock Lesnar, the overuse of The Undertaker. Triple H coming in every now and then, that's actually pretty good. I'm pretty sure people are starting to get tired of Shane McMahon's shtick. I mean, yeah, it was pretty good at first whenever he turned heel, but after the deal with The Miz, it went downhill. And there's so much good talent that they have not utilized quite well. They haven't used Aleister Black quite well. They already managed to ruin Ricochet. They ruined Shinsuke. They ruined Finn. All that good stuff. Yeah, Finn was Intercontinental Champion, but it just didn't feel right because Vince basically killed his character. And he was such a hit in NXT. Whenever he first came into WWE and had that match for the Universal title, I loved it. And that's what really made me a Finn Balor fan. And other treatment of talent is that they either keep putting them in bad storylines where they don't give them enough. And there's that whole deal with their insurance and whatnot, healthcare or whatever. And heck, treatment has been so bad that Sasha Banks hasn't talked to WWE in months. She hasn't been seen since post WrestleMania. And there are still rumors saying that she wants to defect to AEW because of better stuff. And heck, Dean Ambrose, who is now Jon Moxley, he said that he went to AEW not because of the pay job, but because he doesn't have to do hokey shit. Because after all, Jon Moxley did say on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast that he hates hokey shit. There's also much more to it. And whenever I watched Double or Nothing, all this stuff that Jon Moxley did there was more crazy. It was actually crazy, unlike his run in WWE, where he just did stuff that wouldn't be called really crazy. Whereas Matthew Cole is saying, "It's a lunatic fringe." That is just cringy. So, one of the main reasons what WWE is doing wrong is how they treat talent and how they're relying on people like Brock Lesnar. Heck, whenever they had Money in the Bank, that ticked me off when they had Brock win the Money in the Bank and now he's the Universal Champion again. That's what's causing many fans to defect to AEW. It's because they're pushing stars that don't need pushed. I'm pretty sure we don't need another Randy champion. We don't need another John Cena champion. We sure as hell don't need another Brock champion. Because we need new stars to take the title. Like Kofi Kingston, he won the heavyweight title, and that was all in good reason. People were behind him. Before they were behind him, they were behind Ali, formerly known as Mustafa Ali. There's that. I really hate how they play hot potato with the titles, but it's nice how they moved away from that and made the 24/7 title. However, what went wrong with the 24/7 title is the design. Why couldn't they just go back to the hardcore title? Oh wait, no, this is the PG era, so we have to think that we're doing the right thing for kids. Meanwhile, kids are probably getting turned off to this too. I mean, I probably would as a kid, because whenever I was a kid, I was watching blood matches. Like, one of my favorite matches of all time was Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22 in 2006. It was gloriously bloody. There was another one, SummerSlam, between Mick Foley and Ric Flair. That was another gloriously bloody match. Kids like blood. Mainly boys. They like violence. In this sense. Of, like, pro wrestling. Yeah. They need to make titles that don't have a bland design, and make titles that are actually worth fighting for. The Universal title is dead. Like, no one really feels like it has any importance. The heavyweight title isn't given any importance, so that basically died out. The women's titles, I don't even think they know what they're doing with the women's titles anymore. Because after all, the women's tag team champions, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics, only just had their first title defense a couple weeks ago. It's kind of ludicrous how they didn't have one ever since they won them at WrestleMania 35. The Intercontinental title, we've basically forgotten about that. The United States title, it just barely has a speck of importance. So all these titles basically have nothing to them anymore, in a sense. And if they want to bring back importance to the titles, don't play hot potato with them all the time. And don't give them to stars that really don't need it. Looking at you, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar really is only in this for the money. And no one really wants that. I mean, if you have Brock Lesnar coming up every week, maybe. But it would be better if Brock Lesnar just came in for single suits without a title belt. Because, let's face it, no one likes Brock Lesnar. If they do, it's mainly just for the fact that Brock Lesnar is humongous. So, let's go on to the next reason. Source of money to WWE. So, WWE has been getting large pay grades from Saudi Arabia and the Middle East for doing shows there. Now, I don't necessarily like the Saudi shows for my own reasons, one of them being that they wouldn't let women wrestle there. But it's just that I don't like it because they're trying to book shows as if they're supposed to be bigger than their big pay-per-views like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, when it's never like that. Greatest Royal Rumble was a botchamania. Super Showdown, that was awful. Crown Jewel, horrendous. These shows are all awful just for the sake of Vince getting money because he's hemorrhaging money in the homeland of America. And he's terrified. And I don't like this. Why sacrifice the quality of your product so you can get money? Like I said, match quality is terrible. And this is kind of going back to what WCW did whenever, because I think Eric Bischoff did say that whenever WCW was in its dying days, he was taking money from different places because he knew it was dying out. And I think we need to get either Vince McMahon needs told what he's doing wrong and need him to listen, or just get Triple H to run the product, because Triple H runs NXT and 205 Live, and NXT has been doing great. People watched NXT more than they watched the main roster of Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. Next one, storylines. Storylines just suck. They either recycle feuds, or they ruin the feuds or drag them out for too long. Like Shane McMahon versus Miz. It was good while it happened, but then it just started to get drawn out too long. Shane versus Miz coming to a head at WrestleMania 35. That was a great match because I like Falls Count Anywhere whenever they try to kill each other. Because that's just a fun match to watch. It's brutal. But then they came to the next pay-per-view. I'm like, alright, maybe the Miz should win this one. But he didn't. And that was where I felt like they had drawn it out for way too long. And even now at SummerSlam coming up, they have Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Obviously, Bray Wyatt is going to win because Bray Wyatt is just now returning, and they're basically looking to kill off Finn Balor's character, basically. But then again, Finn Balor has requested time off, supposedly for a honeymoon because of an Instagram post where he posted a tattoo that he got with his girlfriend, and it showed dates on them. And I do believe that he just got married, so congratulations, Finn Balor. Congratulations. But yeah, recycled feuds. We don't like them. And of course, the damn Brock storylines. I hate them. It's like Brock is this untamable beast or whatever. And no one really believed it from the start because everyone just didn't really. Yeah, at the beginning it was okay to see Brock Lesnar return, but Brock Lesnar really did fizzle out. He wasn't really that big of a wrestler in his original run, as he didn't really have a heavyweight title, really. Next reason. Overuse of stipulations. Now, I love stipulation matches, but not whenever they get so overused that they are not even important anymore. One of them is the no holds barred or whatever matches. Those get overused, or the terms of overused, I mean that they come in out of nowhere. It's overused like that. I love no holds barred matches, but when you do it like that, like they did at WrestleMania 33, that poses a problem. There was another one. What was the type of match that was Triple H versus Seth Rollins? I can't remember that type of match, but that one's been overused as well. And I'm just honestly tired of that stipulation. And even once more, whenever they use these extreme rule stipulations, they don't really have any blood. And if there is blood, it's accidental, so those wrestlers end up getting fined. Sorry that they bleed, Vince. Falls Count Anywhere. That's starting to be a real overused stipulation. Like I said, I loved Shane versus Miz at WrestleMania 35. Braun versus Bobby Lashley. It was okay-ish, not the best. I didn't even finish watching Extreme Rules because it was just awful. Like, Extreme Rules is no longer Extreme Rules because not even all the matches were stipulation matches, and that really sucked. Don't make an Extreme Rules pay-per-view if you're not going to have extreme stipulations. You know what I loved? Bad Blood '08. Like, the first blood match between JBL and John Cena, that was a great match. Samoan strap match at Extreme Rules '09, I think. CM Punk versus Umaga. I think it was Cyber Sunday '07 or '08. Jeff Hardy versus Umaga and Falls Count Anywhere. That was a great match. And like I said, hardcore match between Edge versus Mick Foley in '06 at WrestleMania 22. Those are some good stipulations to use that haven't been used. I want to see a return of Samoan Strap. I want to see the return of the First Blood matches. I want to see more I Quit matches that actually show a bunch of blood. You know, it was one of my favorite matches of all time? John Cena versus JBL at Judgment Day '05 in their I Quit match. Because that was an iconic match, in my opinion, because that's the first time I've seen two superstars bash their faces in with microphones. To me, that was just fun. And that was just one of my childhood favorites. Another overused stipulation that they have is the steel cage match. That it's to the point that the steel cage is no longer important anymore. Hell, it ain't. Because we all know it's the same shtick over and over. It's just, I don't even have the words for it. It's just so overused that it sucks now. And the last stipulation that I can think of that is so overused is the use of mixed tag team matches. They've been overused since when I can recall WrestleMania 33. It's happened almost every year. It happened at Extreme Rules. No, it didn't happen at SummerSlam, but it happened at Extreme Rules. A mixed tag team match, Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I already didn't want to see that because now they're trying to drive down Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch while Baron Corbin is digging himself into a bigger hole and Lacey Evans just seems to look like a spoiled brat on the main roster because she automatically just got pushed in and whatnot. And she didn't have enough time to get built. Meanwhile, they're doing it right on SmackDown, where Bayley wants to build up the roster, and now there's going to be Ember Moon versus Bayley at SummerSlam, which I am really looking forward to because I love Ember Moon. Yeah, mixed tag team matches, they're so overused. Go for something else. There's so many more stipulations that could be used. And that brings us to the next point, the no blood deal. We love blood. It makes it all the more interesting. But this whole PG deal, it's ruining everything. I'm pretty sure kids want to see blood. It's not going to hurt them. Kids already play uber violent video games like Mortal Kombat, Call of Duty, not just cause, but so many other things. And a lot of people listen to heavy metal, so wouldn't hurt to add some blood to the matches intentionally. I mean, I'm pretty sure Matt Hardy got fined for blading back in 2017 whenever he and Jeff were in a tag team championship match against the Bar. That's really what he's having. There needs to be more blood. My last real reason for this is the whole deal with the commentary. I really dislike Corey Graves and Matthew Cole. Because Matthew Cole, it's cringy. Like, he'll say stuff over and over and over. Like, there's a funny behind the scenes video where Matthew Cole's like, okay, you want me to plug the network in for the 400th time? Alright. And there's another funny video where he's on, like, Howard Stern or something. He's like, hey, fuckhead. It's hilarious. But, that aside, Matthew Cole is really the bad side of the commentary. Like, whenever Dean Ambrose would come out, he would say lunatic fringe every 5 words. It was annoying. Corey Graves, I just don't like Corey Graves, because not only is he cringy, but he just comes off as a massive douche. I mean, just look at his haircut. I'm not going to post a photo because I just don't want to put in that effort right now. Aside from that, Renee actually does pretty good. She could use some work, but at least she's not Matthew Cole. So yeah, there's all that deal with the commentary. Yeah, those are the main reasons of why WWE has been quickly going downhill for the past so many years. It's because they do all the things that fans basically explicitly say they don't want them doing or want them doing, but WWE refuses to listen. Oh, another thing, bullshit rules or promises. Like back in late 2018, the McMahons promised that they would listen to the fans in a new era. Yeah, that didn't last long as Vince kept trying to alter things, and that ultimately made Dean Ambrose quit WWE and head for AEW. There was also that weird ass wild card rule that basically ruined the brand split, but I think they're trying to phase it out now, which is good because it really makes no sense whatsoever. If you're going to have a brand split, stick to the brand split. Sheesh. But there are some many things that they could learn from the indies and mainly AEW, such as don't be afraid to do stuff that you think is a bit risque. I mean, just look at Joey Ryan. People love him, and he is hilarious. And my best friend was surprised whenever he got to see Joey Ryan for the first time. Whenever I showed him that match between Joey Ryan and Brandy Rhodes, or namely Joey Ryan's return at All In, whenever he just attacked Hangman Adam Page. That was quite hysterical. So, like I said, they could do a lot more. I mean, mainly just give more creative control to the wrestlers themselves. Young Bucks are successful because of their own gimmick. Cody Rhodes is obviously one of the biggest wrestlers of today on the indies, and he was heavily neglected by WWE. WWE gave him shitty gimmicks and whatnot, and shitty storylines. But now he's in the indies running AEW basically, and everybody loves him. He puts on great matches. He has a great gimmick as the American Nightmare, which I don't think he is anymore. I think it went face. I don't know. And of course, Double or Nothing, his stage entrance was great as he destroyed a Triple H-esque throne. You have other wrestlers like Jon Moxley, also a neglected wrestler from WWE, who came to AEW and already cemented himself as great. Chris Jericho got even bigger the moment he left WWE and faced Kenny Omega at yeah, I can't remember the name, but NJPW in New Japan. But I think you get the point. AEW is basically better than WWE. Meanwhile, people like Batista are saying, "Oh, AEW is not a threat to WWE." Sure, the last show that AEW did wasn't sold out quite like All In or Double or Nothing, but I think it's because it wasn't as heavily advertised. And there's also a thing, AEW is just starting up, so of course you're going to have a hiccup like that. But with AEW coming onto TNT, I think it would be good for WWE. Not only can they learn, but hopefully there's some more inter-brand, not inter-brand, but inter-company feuding, like competition. Because let's be honest, the Monday Night Wars were great between WWE and WCW is because there was competition. And that's what people loved about Attitude and Ruthless Aggression. And if they do this with WWE and AEW, WWE will pick itself back up. They'll push themselves to do something big that will attract fans back. It'll bring back old school fans again. Yeah, maybe if they can gain that competition between USA and TNT or Fox and TNT, whatever, if they do that, then WWE does have a brighter future ahead for the time being. But for right now, they continue to make these mistakes because of mainly Vince McMahon, then they will continue to go downhill. It's only hoping that later this year, whenever AEW's Tuesday night showings on TNT start up, that there is a glint of hope for WWE. Otherwise, WWE will soon fizzle out and hemorrhage all the money that they have left, and not even Saudi money will save them. Not even any money would save them, because shows are not sold out anymore. It's pretty sad, but I think you get the point. So thanks for listening to my weird rant about WWE. And if you like the videos, you can see them even more whenever I post new ones in the coming weeks. And if there's something wrong, I don't know if you'd want to comment. I don't care. But if you got any suggestions for videos I might be able to do in the future, go ahead and give a heads up about that. And you'll see more of me in the coming weeks on Broad Culture as I'm returning. And so yeah, go ahead and watch those reaction videos that Jon and Hal have been posting. Anyways, I've been your host, Dash Ireland, and this was Dash's Call. See you next time, so like the video, I don't care, share it if you want to, and subscribe to the channel. That's it, we're trying to have a good time, and we'd like to share good times with you. And it would be great to have new subscribers and even more viewers. It's kind of crazy that Jon pulled in over 700 views with his reaction to epic rap battles of history. So that's nice. But yeah, I'm Dash Island. I've mainly been stalling to try and draw out more time on this episode. But yeah, return of Dash's Call. We'll see you next time.